Eric Ten Hag is feeling the pressure. Yeah, United have lost at Old Trafford again. That's twice this season already, 4 times in 7 matches.
Yeah.
Suddenly, a manager who was being praised for his in-game management, his ability to switch up things, control things, is looking very clueless at this point because he's not being able to give his team the direction that is needed to win games.
I think for some reason he's just being hesitant when it comes to making adjustments, and which is very strange considering last season was his debut season in the EPL, and what we are seeing now, I would have expected it to happen last season and not when you already had a season to acclimatize yourself. And
Injuries,
so
perhaps?
that's one. That's one because I look at Eric Ten Hag and I honestly believe that he shouldn't get sacked. He shouldn't even be under any kind of pressure or under any kind of threat of getting sacked at any moment in time this season. Because one of what he did last season, he came in his first season, got Man United a top 4 finish, got Man United a Carabao Cup, got Man United to make it to the FA Cup final.
And he's been backed financially. So
And
what if United retrogress this season?
And that's because of what he is as a manager. Every manager has his style. And when I look at Eric Ten Hag, he's one of those managers. It's pretty much all Dutch managers. They believe in what we call the automatism in football, constant repetition of particular plays in different phases and different times of a game. So how to what to do when we are in transition in attack, what to do when we are in transition in defense, when we have possession, what to do, when we don't have possession, what to do. And that takes a lot of repeated practices. And when you have a situation where players are coming in and out of the door, it makes it difficult to have a settled squad to be able to run these plays over and over and over with. And so that is a problem. And you also
So you're saying that United are having problems because of a lack of familiarity with Ten Hag's system?
More or less, and the fact that there's also injuries in there. And that where I have a problem with Ten Hag is the fact that he's being hesitant to make those in-game adjustments. And the fact that you also have a situation where he's trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. Because when you have a guy like Amrabat and you play him at left full back and it works against Crystal Palace one time, and you repeat that same tactic, you definitely know that Roy Hodgson is coming into this game prepared for such a system. And you repeat it, knowing very well that this guy is uncomfortable when playing at left full back. So what I expected him to do was keep Dalot on the left side because he is comfortable playing as a left full back, and play Amrabat as a right full back, where you can even use him the way Arteta has been using Thomas Partey in recent times. That in possession, he will step up into midfield when Man United have possession. Then when Man United does not have possession, he will slot into that right full back position. But consistently, he kept on having Amrabat at left full back. And we saw the kind of damage that he took from Jordan Ayew because he's not comfortable in that position. Any seasoned winger or wing forward will just cook him. And that's what we saw happening on Saturday. And on top of that, he lacked that discipline in a very non-dangerous position.
Yeah.
And he just bundled over a Crystal Palace player. And that's what led to the free kick. It was Jordan Ayew. He just bundled over Jordan Ayew. That's what led to the free kick. And Crystal Palace managed to score. So for me, I'm a bit surprised that Eric Ten Hag is being hesitant when it comes to making those in-game adjustments. And on top of that, he's just being a little bit stubborn because at this point in time, you need repeated plays. And when you have Marcus Rashford consistently messing up those plays in transition in attack, what to do? You need to make quick time passes. But he's messing up and you keep on picking him.
Well, Edwin, is there structure issues or you think that United are just not they're just not good enough? The players, the manager himself.
Look, I think everyone shares the blame, and you'd like to blame Ten Hag for some of his decisions. And I agree with some people who say Ten Hag he's been making some mistakes with his selections, with how long he takes to bring some players out who are not performing. I felt particularly in this game, Rashford should have come out way earlier. Ten Hag tried to accommodate him on the right-hand side after things didn't work out particularly well on the left-hand side. Eventually, he hooked him, but he should have come off way earlier. Garnacho added, in the few minutes that he played, he added more to United's attack than Rashford did in the whole time that he was on the pitch. United definitely have problems, and scoring goals is one of them. They've scored 7 in 7 games. For United, that is unacceptable. And you look at the other stats.
7 goals in 7
7
matches.
goals in 7 matches. The teams that have scored more than them, Brentford, Wolves, Nottingham Forest. Those are among the teams
Wolves
that
have scored more goals than
more
United.
goals than Manchester United.
Wolves are such a poverty team when it comes to scoring goals.
Exactly, and you look at the United team, and the stats just tell you why they are not scoring. United are in the top 5 among teams who have with the most shots this season in the Premier League. Top 5. When you go to shots on target, United drop to the bottom 10. That is where they are. It tells me that these players are being limited to shots outside the box, or they are taking shots in rush positions where there's a low percentage of them scoring instead of finding players in better positions. And Rashford is the easy target for that. But we saw that decision-making, that poor decision-making from several other players in this game, from Mason Mount, from Casemiro, from Bruno Fernandes. They were passing to players who were in very bad position instead of the easy pass to players in better position. They were taking shots when they should have been passing to players in better positions. And you might want to blame Ten Hag for that, but I feel that bar Chelsea, United have had the most unsettled front line in the Premier League. You have Sancho, his issues, I don't need to talk about it. You have Anthony, who has basically the same issues now. You have Højlund, who just came into the team. You have Mason Mount, who has missed a lot of games. He's
Then
now
Martial, who can't play.
Martial, who can't play
consistent back-to-back matches.
The only consistent players in the team are Rashford, who is having a terrible season, and Bruno Fernandes, who, luckily for United, is the most consistently good player in that squad. But he can't do it alone. And blaming Ten Hag for players not being available, players being hurt, players having personal issues, players being terrible on form. I didn't even mention Garnacho and Pellistri, who are young players. Pellistri got his first start against Crystal Palace. You can't count on them to solve your striking problem for you. So I think you need to cut Ten Hag some slack, but he also deserves some blame for how United are playing.
Well,